Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me to come share with you this morning. That was beautiful, by the way. Thank you. And perfect. So today, we're going to talk about thriving or surviving. This is an issue that's up for a lot of us, and it's definitely been up for me. The definition of thrive is to grow or develop successfully, to flourish or succeed. The definition of to survive is simply to remain alive, to continue to live, to continue to exist. Anybody notice the contrast between those? Yeah. So I want to spend some time talking about and hopefully inspiring you to do some thinking about the difference between thriving and surviving. And maybe to take some time in the coming days to look at our lives and figure out where we fall on the scale of thriving, which I would think would be the high end of things, and surviving, which would be where I personally admit I've spent quite a bit of time in my lack of consciousness at that level. I have witnessed many, many people and friends over the years that have lived for the weekend. Remember that song back in the 80s, Living for the Weekend? They had jobs that were okay. They were a good paycheck, but they mostly did the job to earn the money to go and do what their passion was. And it could have been rock climbing, it could have been horseback riding, it could have been music, it could have been anything. For me personally, that's an okay thing, but I would rather find work that I love, maybe make a little less money, and live every day waking up to do something that I love, which I can actually admit for 40 years, more than 40 years, I've managed to mostly do that. I'll tell you about that in a second. Now, I've also seen people who, due to their life circumstances or commitments or laziness or a lack of ambition, that have stayed in jobs that were absolutely untenable and stayed stuck because they couldn't see any way out. Anybody know people like that besides me? I've been that person. Didn't last long for me. So what does thriving look like to me? Well, for me personally, I came in, apparently, my mom said I came in singing. I think it was probably screaming, but that's all right. I came in knowing that music was what I wanted to do. There's pictures of me at 2 with my mouth wide open playing a little toy piano. This was my path. There was no deterring me. So at 19, I began a career that has spanned 4 decades doing music. And although my direction has changed within music, music has been what I've done. And the vast majority of the time doing this, I have truly enjoyed. There were moments that were sticky and yucky, but generally it's been a fabulous, fabulous journey for me. I've had to reinvent what I do in the music business. I did clubs for many years. I'm way too old to work 6 nights a week in a bar. I just can't do it anymore. And what's been interesting to me is I started in the church choir, and my career has taken me right back full circle to back into spiritual community, which is fabulous because sometimes it's very comforting to circle back around. Have I thrived? Absolutely. I not only get to do what I'm doing this morning, I play musical events that are generally, I just did a benefit for the Unity of San Jose last week that was to raise money for a spiritual community. And I was able to share songs that were meaningful to me, that were uplifting for the people there. I didn't have to explain what they were about. I didn't have to apologize for them. I could just be. I've also evolved into learning how to do production and become a recording engineer, how to mix sound. I started an independent record label, and I work mostly with artists who do healing, uplifting, heart-centering music. So, hey, lucky me, reinventing within the same field. Have I had challenges? You bet I have. But they never deterred me very much. And that I get to do work I love, that I wish everyone could find work that they love is a huge bonus. This is the way that we're wired, and we sometimes forget that. So I may not be rich, but I have more than I need, and I am contented because I get to do work that I love. Maya Angelou said, "My mission of life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." She had it all going on. So the other aspects of thriving and surviving besides our work that I'd like to address is our personal relationships. And I think that the steps that I'm going to share with you today can apply to both, the little practices that we can do, some of the tools that we can use. Even figuring out what our life's work could be or what our next act will be, because I can tell by looking around the room, most of us have been out of high school a little while, and we may have already had several careers. It's really important when trying to figure out our life's direction and maybe who our partner, our life's partner is going to be, or who our best friend is going to be. These are all similar practices that we can use. The clearer that I have become on the qualities that I want in my work and in my friendships and in my life's partner, the more I have drawn those people and that work and my partner into my life. Instead of focusing on what I would never get involved with again, how many of us have done that? I have. The clearer I got on what it is that I really wanted, the more I was able to attract that. Because what we're pushing against, what we resist, persists because that's where our focus is going. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here. So do we settle? Or do we go for what we really want? And for me, I really want to go for what I really want. So here are some of the things that I do that help me. Sitting in meditation. How many of you do any kind of a meditation practice? Good. I have the busiest monkey mind that there ever was. And I'm so proud of myself that I'm doing my 10 minutes twice a day now. It took me years to get up to 10 minutes. And there are days that it never shuts up. But at least I sit in that quiet and I give it a chance to. When we sit in silence and we listen for direction, it comes. I can promise you that. The few moments that I can get things to just calm down is when I get clarity. Consciously allowing ourselves to look inside and ask the questions, what truly will fill my heart? What qualities do I want in my work? What personality type and qualities do I want to see in the person that I'm going to share my life with? These are really good questions. And you can ask yourself, what would that perfect job look like? What would that person look like? What would that relationship look like and feel like? These are focused questions to do when we're in meditation. The second tool that I love is sharing with somebody that you love or trust. And this can be a really good friend, it can be a parent, it can be a child, somebody who knows you. Because have you ever noticed that when you're talking with somebody that is sharing something that they love, that they light up, that you can feel their energy come up? This is a great, great tool to sit with somebody that you love and just say, look, I'm going to kick around some ideas about what I'm looking for. I've been doing this with one of my very closest girlfriends who is about 2 years out of a divorce, and she wants a new relationship. And it's so funny because I just make notes. Because when she starts to light up, I go, okay, that's a quality she wants. And then she'll talk a little more about what she doesn't want, and I'll steer her back to what she does want. And the energy comes up. So by the time we're done with our 10 or 15-minute little session, I have a list of what things she lit up talking about. So I really recommend doing this with a friend or a spouse. It's a great tool because truly, when we're passionate about things, am I starting to light up? I can feel it. So our energy shifts, and it's a great, great tool. It can be so revealing. So for career paths, as humans, we tend to live longer and longer. I just was advocating for a woman who is 98. She just passed a couple weeks ago. Talk about going with grace and talk about living with grace. She was an elementary school teacher for 30 years. She retired at the requisite age. At 70-something, she drove an RV from Northern California by herself to Alaska and explored Alaska. Everything in her life, to read her journals, which she graciously shared with us, it was fascinating, and she was so inspiring to me because she was fearless. I am not fearless. I'm brave, but I'm not fearless. So, I'm 60 now, and I've been actually, I'm 61 as of a week ago. Darn, how did that happen? So I'm on my third act, but I figure if she made it, if Jerry made it to 98, I might have a fourth or fifth act in me. What do you think? The thing also with relationships is sometimes we outgrow our partner or our friendships. We evolve, we grow in different directions, people move away, people pass away. And just because it didn't go on for the entire duration of our life doesn't mean that we failed. We learned things, hopefully things that helped us become better people and help direct our lives. It's possible to find work, and some of us that are retired, we don't want a job anymore. Maybe what we want is sacred service, something that is rewarding that we can donate our time to or become involved in. We don't have to accept a subpar existence because we're past working age or because we haven't found the perfect partner. We can find the perfect circle of friends. I have a case in point of someone who is vibrant and young. It's my 31-year-old nephew. He makes more money than I will probably ever see in my life. He talked his company in Tennessee into allowing him to work satellite for a company up in Eureka, California, which is beautiful, up in the Humboldt Redwoods. He's close to the parks. He loves where he lives. He makes buku bucks. He gets to work out of his house pretty much a lot on his own schedule. He has to travel a little bit. And he is miserable with a capital M. He doesn't like the workload. He doesn't like the stress. He doesn't actually even like the work that he's doing. And he is so patently stuck. It is heartbreaking for me to watch this kid. He got a $10,000 bonus. 10 grand. I think that's what I made last year. Well, maybe a little more than that, but not much. And he's miserable, and he doesn't have any appreciation. So I look at him and I go, yikes, what is going on? What is wrong with this picture? So the first thing that I would come up to, and you probably already are there, is what does he need? He needs an attitude adjustment. What do I need sometimes when I'm really tired and I don't want to get up and go speak at that church because I'm really tired because all hell broke loose that week and I'm just tired and I don't feel like it? Gratitude that I get the opportunity to come and share, because maybe something I have to share will be of value and make it easier for somebody else. And isn't that what we're here for? I loved your song about we're all just children. We're all just trying to figure it out. We're all trying to belong to something and find our passion, find our work, find our people. So I say, do the inner work. Actively find things that you like and appreciate about whatever your situation that you perceive as not good. A coworker that you like, a client that you like, the money, free coffee. Find something. Robert H. Schuller says it takes but one positive thought when given a chance to survive and thrive to overpower an entire army of negative thoughts. I'm going to read that again. I just think that's so powerful. Takes but one positive thought when given a chance to survive and thrive to overpower an entire army of negative thoughts. And we all know this to be true, don't we? Because when we can just shift a few degrees and start looking for something to be grateful for, and that was perfect. Isn't it nice? We even all dressed the same color this morning. Things are aligned. It's synchronicity. So the second thing that I recommend is ask clearly for what you want and what you need. And I keep encouraging my nephew to talk to the management at his company. Let them know that he feels overloaded. Let them know that there's things that could be restructured that would work better. Now, I don't know if he'll do it. this works in relationship too. My husband and I have been together 23 years, and trust me, we have developed some horrible habits. But we've also developed a really good way to communicate. And one of the tools as I was working on this talk was to remind myself that when things aren't going well within my relationship, that I can just sit down with him or with my girlfriends or with my women's circle, and I can ask for what it is that I need. But I have to take the time to figure out what that is, which brings us back to meditation. That still small voice is the best guidance because we, inside of ourselves, we know what those answers are. Now, sometimes it's really hard to get there. So the third thing that I recommend doing is seek counsel. Ask for help. There are trained counselors. There are practitioners who will pray with you, who will bring you back to your truth. There are people that have a skill set to help you as you enter your second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th act, to help you figure out what vocation you're best equipped for, what's going to bring you that joy. So ask for help. Seek experts or spiritual guidance for people that can help you. And number 4, if none of this works, then look for something else. Look for a new partner, look for a new job. And I don't mean just bail. I mean, if you've done all these steps and you're not making progress, then you need to take a bigger step away. Sometimes, and I know this is true of my nephew, we are so unwilling to relinquish the comforts or the perks of our lifestyle that we're not willing to take that leap. All I can say is I have had to take that leap over and over again as I've had to reinvent how I show up in the music world. Let the stuff go. It is not worth being miserable. And having my sweet, adorable nephew's misery in my face every time I'm around him is a huge reminder for me. And as sad as it makes me, once again, I can move to gratitude to say thank you for this reminder. Doing work that we love is the biggest dividend. And I say that from my heart. Wayne Dyer taught us that if we do what we love, the money will come. And I have proven that over and over and over again. If you had known me in high school, you would not believe that I'm up here talking. I could not give a speech to save my life. I was a musician. Put a keyboard in front of me, I'm fine. Put a podium in front of me, not so good. But because I have had such an interesting journey, and we use the word interesting because there were many valleys and mountains to climb over and pits to be in. But my impetus is to get up here and share what works and to encourage you to not stay stuck. And even if because we're in a New Thought community here, we know a lot of these tools, but some of us have a nephew or a child or a friend who is really stuck. And what is our purpose? We're here to help each other. We're here, there's only one, no matter what our faith traditions are, there's only one. And so if someone around us is unhappy, guess what? They are us. So why don't we help them out? Why don't we take these tools and bring them into our circle? My oldest childhood friend has had 3 successful careers. She just turned 60 in January. She's right behind me. They've all been told. She was an RN. She has a wheatgrass business now. Before that, she actually grew pot. I'm just going to admit that. And, and then got her RN, so talk about a 180, a huge shift. And now she grows wheatgrass, which is highly medicinal. She's had wonderful results. And, I'm seeing her, she's starting a farm, and I'm thinking she's going to be selling eggs and milk next. So anything can happen, but she's always had this mental openness, this ease and grace to just move into whatever was next. And it wasn't because she wasn't afraid. It was because she listened. I've encouraged my other niece and nephew to do what they love. For me, it's easy. They're both musicians. So I can tell them, look, it worked for me. Go for it. And so far, they have bravely done that. One's in music education, and one is a percussion performance major. They're incredibly gifted. They got it from their grandmother on their father's side. I'm the only musician on my side of the family. But they're following their passion. And it's so amazing because when I hear them talk about what they're doing. What do I see? I see the color come into their face. I see their energy come up. And it excites me so much to just know that they're on a good path. Could I gracefully guide them if I saw otherwise? I hope so. I know I'm doing the best I can with their older brother. When you listen to your heart and follow its direction, guess what happens? The universe steps right up to support you. Has it always been easy for me? Was it easy for me to find my life partner? No, I had 2 failed marriages. I made many, many mistakes. I focused so much on what I didn't want after the first one. Guess what I did? I brought the same guy in with a different face. So by the time I met Alan, I was very clear what I wanted and was very detached from what I didn't want. What I'd like to do, if you guys are up for this, is I would like to invite you to join me in one of the newest pieces of music that I've written, because I'm at another crossroads for my career. And one of the things that I do is I do women's circles. And I'm recognizing that the Dalai Lama might have a point that Western women, it's going to be the Western women that are going to help majorly shift the consciousness of the world. So I'm moving and trying to find ways to use my music more powerfully to empower women and to educate and to work with younger women. And I don't know how that's going to outpicture. So I was actually listening to a lecture by Marianne Williamson at the Parliament of World Religions last October, and she quoted this from the Course in Miracles, and I studied the Course many years ago, and I love this. She says, when you get up in the morning, you ask these questions. You say, where will you have me go? What will you have me do? What will you have me say? And to whom? And that has become a huge part of my meditation. So I want to share this chant with you this morning, and I want you to get comfortable and close your eyes. If you want to sing along, please do. Doesn't matter if the notes or the words are right. And I want you to just listen to your inner voice. Samira Trust said, your heart is your compass. Follow it. So I'll take a deep, deep breath together and blow it out. all take a nice deep breath together and blow it out. And when you feel comfortable, open your eyes and come back in. Miranda says, when many voices are speaking at once, listen to the one most quiet and gentle. That's the one worth listening to. So I'd like to close with a little prayer. So if you want to close your eyes one more time with me. Mother, Father, God, as we move forward into this coming week, let us each ask ourselves, what can I do today to bring me closer to my desire for work and relationships that are healing and rewarding? Guide me to show up as someone who can help others find their path, find their people, find their communities. Guide us in the silence and help us make the space to allow that still small voice, your voice, to guide us on our spiritual paths. Help us to trust our inner wisdom and to tune into that inner guidance where all of our answers exist. Give us the strength to be this same gift to others and to be able to encourage them to find their life's work, their life's path. Let us help them learn to trust their heart's wisdom and to believe in themselves and to take the leap. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Namaste. Thank you so much for having me here.